It's May 10th, 2022. I'm watching Channel 7 at noon, Eyewitness News. It mentions, I'm trying to think of this, because this morning I watched something, and, I'm thinking how relatable. Like, if pigs could fly, thus far, two cannot. My four cannot at the moment. I don't know why. Then it says, have you ever wigged out? Actually, I have. I wigged out at a Halloween party as Cleopatra once. I was young, in elementary school, without Nicklaus. For grave danger signs, with stranger danger lurking all about us, and people with plenty of resources to get the message right and the timing correct. Then I wigged out once. I was with Chris Marone, and he took me to some gathering of spiritual whatever with crystals and things. It was almost like a flea market look. So I went with a pair of blue jeans with holes in them. What else do you wear? I went with my olive green 3/4 length coat to cover myself up. I would call it more of a mage or sage robes. It was waisted with a belt. I then wore some form of cap, not this one that I'm wearing now. And then I had a extension whatever. And there's video camera footage of me buying the wigged out portion at Ulta Beauty, whatever, in the local Lake Grove. So then there's the last time I wigged out, and the last time I wigged out, it was a black wig with red highlights, and it was a devil costume with appropriate boots for this Halloween one photo, and they put me inside of a cage, and that was it. I left the room. I was there for a photo. I left. End of story. Last wigged out. And then it went on to Facebook. So this way there's no excuse in this whatever this is that humanity is doing. I don't belong in an extraterrestrial or a trial. Not what I came for. Now this is what's on the local news today, since I'm in some pathetic whatever.
Setting aside $35 million to support abortion providers, Governor
$35 million. Are those I mean, like, I don't even know. Are those taxpayer dollars? Are those, like, dollars from trial elsewhere? I mean, is this... They call this an experiment, an American experiment. I hate that term. Because I'm like, that means that it's the X, and then there's Perry, as in Perry Trickus, as in many of them, and then men. Why would you put a god into that level of torture? Just curious. The god I seek and the god Odin that I came for is far superior than this human abomin, well, it's abominable, but it's abonishment. It's almost like abandonment of everything that was needed.
Kathy Hochul made the announcement today.
$25 million will expand capacity and access for patients. So we are announcing $10 million in security grants for reproductive health care centers. And no one should feel unsafe accessing health care.
Like, this is after New York State has management issues at They Look Pretty Perry to me. And then it's like Perry Men. And then it's like there's been a lot of pawnee rearrangements. I don't know who's been working on this area, but it's a real cluster mess. And now they spew these amounts like, oh, 35 million for this, 200 million here, 35 million there. On whose dime? Like, I still can't even get enough money to feed myself or clothe myself, or provide a roof over my children's head and a security whatever that I might need. And yet they're just throwing out dollar amounts like there's some money tree somewhere they're all siphoning off of.
Abortion care.
The governor outlined the abortion services provider fund during a virtual panel. Earlier, she says that there is an urgent need to provide these resources as the state prepares for an influx of people from out of state seeking safe abortion services. A leaked draft from the Supreme Court about possibly overturning...
And it's like, why are the people who own the money tree, why are they feeding the problem, clothing the problem, and starving the people who belong somewhere in the family tree?
Roe v. Wade, prompting the move by the governor. Meanwhile, all 9 Supreme Court justices and their families are currently under extra security. There have been protests outside some of their homes. The justices are expected at the Supreme Court building on Thursday, and there's extra security there too, including an 8-foot-high fencing wall all around the building. The Senate is preparing to vote on a measure that would start debate on a bill to...
Like, FYI, normally humanity is not this bad to manage. You don't have to wig out of chamber. If you're wigging out, that's a sign. I mean, I'm wearing pageants and peasantry of, like, on fire. I know someone has water to douse the fire. Like, what is going on here at, like, signs and symbols? And, like, need help. And nothing ever arrives. And then I get these messages. I'm like, Senate votes on codifying. Now, is that codifying, like as in D-E-F-Y? Like to defy or defile? I mean, they've been doing enough of that. Or is this like they're trying to recodex the index since the lexicon and the rubrics is quite off?
Codify abortion rights into federal law. Tomorrow's vote is expected to fail, but Senator Schumer says it will show Americans where lawmakers stand on the issue.
If they do this, I have no idea how am I to even read those documents. I mean, the way that I am born in Odin and belonging to someone I'm the mother of gods and the mother of his children. He is the groom. He is to groom me in the correct word, the correct verse, the correct symbols and anthology and mythos and anthos and ethos. But all of that's been withheld from me. So now how do I protect myself and my offspring? And how do I get back to the one that I belong? Since humanity is not really it.
The minority leader, Mitch McConnell, meanwhile suggesting that if Republicans get control of Congress, he would propose a nationwide ban on all abortions.
And new, President Biden is speaking right now about combating inflation today as consumer prices hit an all-time high. You see this live picture. Inflation, along with the war in Ukraine, are among the factors driving uncertainty in the market. Here's a look at the big board on Wall Street right now. It started the day.
While this confusing event is going on, stuff's slipping through the cracks, and it's growing more messy to handle, or at least it would look like that if there was somebody that actually took care of things. Here's also what's on the news at noon.
Urging the city council to support a massive development proposal in Harlem.
They want more housing. They have some labor international union in New York. They don't look New England. They also don't look York. I don't understand why they're asking for a Harlem. They got a 32 BJ SEIU. Oh. Uh-huh. And it's in a purple and yellow because like everything's so misconstrued. It's like the symbols, I mean, like they're right there for someone to take care of this, but I don't know why the cleanup has not been as whatever. I mean, where did they come up with these planning and redevelopment dollars? What giving tree did their money come off of for this redevelopment plan for the people who actively participate? It's like, oh, so you're going to make the gods' job easy and put them in a brand new building? Waste of resources, but hand over the address.
The local 32 BJ of the SEIU and Laborers Local 79 have thrown their support behind the project on West 145th Street and Lenox Avenue. They say that the development...
Is that a 4-5 vote for brokered opinions? Because, like, 8-1 on this, I'm still 1 for 1 in my sunglasses. I have 1 of 4 in my residence. The other 3 of 4 were moved to a different location. Signs of the times, big problem, and I don't have a wig to wear out anymore. I've already done enough.
It will create high-quality housing at rent levels that union members can afford.
In New Jersey, voters are heading to the polls in Newark today. Mayor Ross Baraka is seeking a third term against challenger Sheila Montague.
A Baraka? No, I thought Barack Obama was the only one ever named that specific of It's Not Us. It's not New England. It sounds like something moving and shaking.
Montague. Baraka won re-election in 2018 with 77% of the vote. Montague, an educator and mother of 3, has yet to win her first bid for public office. All 9 city council seats are also on the ballot. Elections also taking place in Patterson today.
I still have no idea how to get onto a mayoral candidate ticket. I don't know what a campaign looks like. I don't know who picks these people. I don't know, are they electing themselves? Then I've got this going on, concern for the Queen, because she didn't make it to the opening day of Parliament today. I haven't made it to one of the opening days of baseball myself. But then again, I have no money and they haven't sent me an invitation.
Now to the latest on concerns about the health of Queen Elizabeth.
Now that I know what the London mayor looks like, some of this is starting to make sense in unpalatable. Here's a new
And as a nurse-
Here's a new doctor trying to speak health and mental health. Here's the thing. If mental health is bipolar because it's a polarized event where the lower caste is trying to cast themselves in a higher light, it is a mental disease, but for other reasons. You're acting as a mental defect when you speak. There's other things going on, and everybody's in this like show off or showsmanship kind of a way that really makes me feel putrid and wanting to vomit or puke.
Registered nurse, it has been my pride and privilege to serve
These are wretched events.
for the health and well-being of school-aged children all across New York City. Currently, I care for over 500 children at a Success Academy charter school.
I have no idea who gave him his charter. I have no idea who gave him his funding. I have no idea who just gave him someone's children. There's a larger problem.
Now, I'm just one of many school healthcare providers who are taking care of our children's medical needs while they're at school.
That would be part of the X, and then there's a Perry men. Many men. Gloria Gaynor had the song like, "It's raining men." It's not hallelujah, but they're here.
One common question I get is, what about reports that the COVID-19 vaccines causes inflammation to the heart in children? Now, I explained to parents that these reactions are very rare. There is a very low risk of inflammation of the heart.
Yeah, they really never grow heart for my story. They like to grow heart for their own kind and their own story, but their heart shrinks like the story of the Grinch when that green monster needs help as well. But their heart does grow for one another.
Myocarditis, or inflammation of the outer lining of the heart, pericarditis, following vaccination with the Pfizer or Moderna vaccines. And most of these rare reported cases have been in the male.
Oh, pericarditis. Wow, that would be really great if you could make everybody fall in love with you all at once. I don't know how to accomplish that feat.
Adolescent to young adult population. And most who received care responded very well to medicine and rest and felt better quickly, usually within 24 to 48 hours. Now, after weighing the overwhelming benefits versus the few and rare risks of vaccination, the CDC and the American Academy of Pediatrics recommend vaccination for all people 5 years old and older. The benefits of vaccination include preventing severe COVID-19 disease, hospitalization, long-term health problems, and death, thus far outweighing any potential risks. Now, I know that you want the best for your child's health and safety.
Why in this modern area, in something called a New England, that has a queen that lives in an England that has a very specific look, and there are very specific gardening seeds and so on and so forth, why are there messengers from out of district, out of zone, out of area, professing to the seedlings that are having this issue? Just kind of like as a Uber to the Sioux, looking as though I'm in a Jew situation at the moment, in Italiano. That's a parlare Italiano. Su Jew. Jew su. Ma giuro.
So as a registered nurse, I strongly recommend vaccination to protect your child and so many others against COVID-19. The data is clear that COVID-19 vaccines protect children against severe illness and hospitalization, so please get your child vaccinated today. Thank you.
They had another chick that was on earlier too. I don't know where she went. It says the FDA is working this afternoon.
Working to make baby formula more available amid a nationwide shortage. The agency is expediting the review of manufacturing for specialized formula. Getting more products on the shelves will help families that have been scrambling. The Kolwitz family, their 3-month-old baby, for example, can only use a specific formula because he's allergic to milk. But that formula is on back order, leaving mom and dad to turn to Facebook Marketplace to hunt down cans of formula.
I never thought that formula would be something that we would have to search for and beg for. I have come across moms that have just broken down crying in the formula aisles because they can't find formula for their babies.
The shortage is being fueled by supply chain issues and a major voluntary recall by 3 popular brands manufactured by Abbott.